Hi, I'm Melissa.
And I'm Melanie.
And this is the UnderReported podcast. We are your reporters. We report crimes committed against Black women because they are underreported in the media.
So welcome to today's episode. It's a really, really sad and senseless story. And in thinking about why I'm so obsessed with crime, why I kind of spend so much time learning and researching these kind of cases, I realized that a part of me hopes or believes that if I learn about enough victims and if I learn about enough stories, I'll be able to prevent myself from becoming one of those victims or one of those stories. And while in some instances there may be some truth to that, every now and again I read a story that gives me a bit of a reality check. The type of stories that shows me that victims are victims because someone else made them that, not because they missed reading an article, not because they didn't avoid some kind of common sense 101 rule that would prevent them from danger, but because some things are just truly outside of your control. And many times that includes what other people do and the choices that other people make. And so today I'm going to tell you one of those kind of stories. It's a senseless story that could easily be you or me or anyone listening. It's the story of 18-year-old Bianca Roberson. "18-year-old Bianca Roberson has recently graduated from Bayard Rustin High School in Westchester, Pennsylvania, and is gearing up for her freshman year at Jacksonville University in Florida in the fall. So she's about to be her freshman college year.
That's exciting and fun.
Very exciting. It's June 18th, 2017. And in preparation for the school year, Bianca, her mother, and her grandmother have spent the day shopping for school supplies and all the things she'll kind of need when she starts her upcoming year.
Her freshman year of college.
Yes.
Very exciting stuff.
So you have to buy everything and for your dorms. And she's going from Pennsylvania to Florida. So really has to buy everything. Thanks to driving separate cars for the shopping day, Bianca around 5:30 says that she needs to take off. She has some plans where she's going to meet up with her friends later on. And so she wants to leave the mall early enough so that she can drop her stuff off that she has bought for the day and then head to go see her friends. So she's like, okay, saying bye to her mom, her grandmother, and she gets in her green Chevy Malibu and she hits the road.
Okay. So
Bianca is driving home, and the route that she's taking requires her to merge from one highway, a highway called Highway 100, onto another kind of high-speed road, which is called Route 202.
Okay.
So she's merging from, this two-lane kind of highway onto this one-lane
Got
route.
It.
And
that's the highways and the byways. Every time I see that, that's what I be thinking.
So she is merging, and after doing so, witnesses, the next thing that is kind of being reported is that witnesses around the area say they see her green Chevy Malibu veer off of the road, hit a tree, and winds up in a ditch.
Oh my goodness.
So passerbys call the police and everyone to ask for assistance. And once the police arrive, they determine that Bianca has tragically died from the traffic accident.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So the police process the scene. They have her body sent over to the coroner, and everything is moving along as would be expected until the following day when the coroners are ready to report their findings. And their findings are a bit different from those of the responding officers.
Oh, wow.
So the coroners report that Bianca has died from a gunshot wound to the side of her head, which killed her instantly.
Oh my gosh.
So instead of an accidental death from a traffic accident,
that's not where I thought this was going.
The case is now a murder investigation.
Okay, I need to know how many other people thought that someone tampered with her car.
Oh.
That's what I thought.
No.
How did it happen so quickly?
So,
because when she left the Walmart, finish.
So police have to start at square one. What they thought was the situation is completely not the situation.
Oh my God.
So they begin reviewing surveillance footage of the area and the surrounding areas, trying to determine what could have happened. What did they not realize happened at this scene? And so they also go to the public and ask for tips that from anyone that was in the area or in the community around the time that Bianca was driving in her car, around the time that her car veered off of the road, like any tips. So hundreds of tips begins rolling in.
Okay.
And the tips are seeming to align with what police are seeing as they're reviewing surveillance cameras. And so what they are finding as they go to the kind of area, community, kind of city cameras is that as Bianca was merging from Highway 100 onto the Route 202, the one-way or the one-lane road, she's seen on camera kind of jockeying with another car for her
position.
spot.
Okay.
Which happens when
All
you
the
merge.
time. My dad used to say that everybody jockeying for position,
Yes.
jockeying for position.
So she is seen doing that. And they do a bit of cat and mouse of who's going to take the spot. But ultimately, because Bianca is in the right-hand lane, she gets the front spot. And it is only after she secures her spot does her car veer off the road, hit a tree, and wind up in the ditch. So she is off of the road, veered off. And meanwhile, the car that she was jockeying with has continued driving. They have a red pickup truck. They've continued driving, and they're seen at times driving on the shoulder of that highway until they later exit the highway or the road. So the police release pictures of the truck to the media, and they say, hey, we're looking for white male, 30 to 40 years of age, blonde hair, medium build, and drives a red, possibly Chevrolet pickup truck, which is the truck that she was jockeying with. Tom Hogan, who is the district attorney of that area, tells the public that they believe the person they are looking for, who was driving the truck, is from the area because of the kind of area that they were driving in, and the location. So the area and the time of day, rather. It's someone who probably has kind of a normal coming back from work route during rush hour, because remember it was around 5:30. So, they're saying that out to the public, and that information gets national attention, and a nationwide manhunt is started.
In 2017?
So in 2017, yes.
That long ago.
So everyone is out looking for this car, looking for this description of this person, because this girl who was driving and ended up dead with a gunshot wound. While none of the tips or witnesses that they interview are able to testify to seeing a gun, there is one witness who says that around the time of the incident, they heard what they believe was a gunshot. And so that's pretty much the only information they have concerning a gun.
Got it.
So
all they know right now, she's leaving her mom and him from shopping, going to meet her friends. She's merging on this highway. Folks are saying they see this red Chevrolet, this pickup truck during the scene. One person hears what they believe to be a gunshot, but that's it. And now this young woman, 18 years old, is dead.
Yes.
With the gunshot wound to the head.
To the left side of her head. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that's not a lot of tips.
No. So the police spend day after day looking for who this could be. They begin looking into red pickup trucks across the entire country.
Wow.
And anyone with a gun permit that fits the description.
Wait, how did they even get it? Oh, because of the bullet.
Yes. Then at 2 a.m. on July 2nd, 2012, so 3 days after Bianca was murdered, a 28-year-old man, his name is David Desper, walks into the West Goshen police station with his attorney to turn himself in for the crime. Once David is in custody, police learn that while they were searching for who this murderer could be, David Desper was out living his life. After shooting Bianca in the side of her head and fleeing the scene, David went to work the next day, then hid his truck at a friend's house while he went on a beach trip with other friends.
No.
Where he played mini golf.
No.
Ate pancakes is what was reported, and acted relatively normally over the course of
3 days.
3 days.
Oh my goodness.
It wasn't until, so maybe more like 2 days, because it wasn't until July 1st, so the day before he turned himself in, that he starts to crack. According to Aaron McCarthy's reporting in the Philadelphia Inquirer, David showed a friend by the name of Justin Gualtieri a news story about Bianca's murder and then confided in him what had happened. And he told Justin, whoa, I really effed up, man. According to another report, which was in the Philadelphia Tribune, Wendy, who is David's mother, Wendy makes this passionate Facebook post expressing her hope that the police capture the, quote, jerk who killed a high school graduate. Little did she know that a few hours after making the post, her own son would call her to tell her that he was the jerk behind the senseless murder.
Oh my goodness.
David actually called his mom and said, quote, I'm so sorry. I screwed up. I did something I can't take back. To which she immediately knew what he was referring to.
Wow.
So I imagine the guilt of those conversations with friends and family.
How old was he? Or we until later?
He was 28.
Oh, he was old enough to know better.
Yeah, he was 28. So,
I mean, killing is never appropriate at any age.
Correct.
But at 28, sir.
Yeah.
You're fully developed as a human being.
Yes.
Your frontal cortex it's developed.
Yes. So the conversations and the guilt, I imagine, after 3 days led him to turn himself in. And after doing so, Tom Hogan, who again is the district attorney, he confirms that David Desper was being charged with first and third degree murder, possession of an instrument of crime, and reckless endangerment in the, quote, savage, senseless, and brutal act from one human being to another human being. He also spoke about the motive in saying that because somebody didn't want to give way, because somebody didn't want to merge into a lane of traffic.
Oh my gosh.
He, referring to Desper, pulled out a gun and shot Bianca in the head. So it really stems from her road rage. Her merging onto the lane. And because she was in the right lane
and get ahead
she
of
got
him,
ahead of him.
He became so angry he took this young woman's
He
life.
shot her in the head.
Wow.
About 8 months after Bianca's murder, there was a hearing in which a judge determined the case should go before a jury and sets a date for May 21st of the following year.
Okay.
The prosecution was able to have, and this is kind of in the hearings versus so still prior to the actual trial. The prosecution was able to have police testify that in processing Desper's red Chevrolet Silverado, they found gunshot powder residue in addition to rounds, a magazine, and a holster. There weren't any bullets found in his car, and his window wasn't shattered. And they note that because that's an indication that it wasn't an accidental fire.
Yeah.
You rolled down your window and intentionally shot this girl.
Right.
They also recovered a .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun from his bedroom, which matched the forensics of the bullet that Bianca was shot with. So 5 days before the trial was scheduled to begin, so May 16th, 2018, David Desper entered a guilty plea for the third-degree murder charge and the possessing of an instrument of crime.
Wow.
And so while Desper did openly cry kind of at the sentencing, while he did openly cry and ask for forgiveness at his December 13th sentencing, he also claimed that Bianca was driving recklessly during their encounter. And he shot her because he feared for his life.
Nope.
The judge.
All the nopes that ever noped. Nope.
No. The judge in the case, Judge Anne-Marie Wheatcraft, agreed with your nopes. She responded to David's assertion by saying she did not believe he feared for his life. And if he was, he would have simply hit the brakes. Instead, she said, I believe you were angry.
Absolutely.
She then continued her sentencing statement while wiping her own tears, directing the next part of her statement to Bianca's parents. And she said, quote, Mr. and Mrs. Roberson, the justice system is completely inadequate as a means of healing.
Oh, wow.
Then she looked to David and said, quote, Mr. Desper, you took Bianca's life and future from her. It is my duty to deprive you of your liberty for a significant period of time.
Wow.
Then, in front of the weeping courtroom, and while still wiping her own tears, Judge Wheatcraft sentenced Desper to 20 to 40 years in jail, which was the statutory maximum for third-degree murder.
Wow.
Desper told the judge he wishes more than anything he could take back what we all know and Bianca's family has to deal with for the rest of their lives, is that he can't, right? He can't take back murdering that innocent girl. And as I was researching this completely heartbreaking and senseless case, one thing that I found that was really upsetting was that David's attorney, in his plea to get a lesser sentence for David, he says his client was a harmless, almost juvenile man who didn't drink or do drugs and had no criminal record before the killing. And I bring that up because, first off, the mention of juvenile,
and which again goes back to my earlier statement, I'm thinking you're very immature to take out a gun for some road rage. You must be 16 or 17. Again, not that it's an excuse,
right,
but that's very immature behavior.
100%.
You're 28.
Yes.
You don't get juvenile.
You don't get juvenile.
Nah, I'm sorry, Mr. White Man, you don't get that. Just no.
We're talking about an 18-year-old
who was actually a juvenile.
Actually
was an 18-year-old young woman who literally just finished school shopping.
Yes. And he gets described
and
as juvenile?
He gets sympathy for being a juvenile? Absolutely. You've lived 10 years longer than she ever will.
Yeah. And I think it made me think about the way that Black people and, you know, in relation to this podcast, Black women get portrayed. And one of the reasons that we do this is because Black women statistically are underreported when they are victims of cases in the media. Instead, they're reported as being overly sexualized. They're reported as being angry. They're reported as all of these things. And when a Black girl is murdered by a white man,
fully grown,
he gets assigned juvenile.
Yeah, nope, it's not going to work.
So,
and I really don't care about your previous non-criminal past. You are now a criminal, and that's all that
murderer.
Matters. This one moment defines you.
100%.
Period.
So, sorry for that tangent, but when I was reading,
I'm not, because also young Black men are aged up. They never get juvenile.
They never get that. They never get that.
Yeah, no, that's not okay.
So I was very upset, frustrated to say the very least, when I was reading that, because again, this is a senseless crime against an innocent girl who was driving home from shopping for her freshman year of college. Like, it can't get any more senseless. So to end this episode, because that's pretty much the facts of the case, he was sentenced to 20 to 40 years. I wanted to read the victim impact statement from Bianca's father. His name was Rodney Roberson. And he read the statement at the December sentencing. It's a little long, but it's one of the saddest things I've ever read. I'm honestly probably going to cry when I read it. I feel
myself crying now, and I've never read it.
Forgive my tears already, but it's the appropriate way, in my opinion, to end this episode. So here we go. This is Rodney Roberson's full victim impact statement. My name is Rodney Roberson. I am and forever will be the father of Bianca Roberson. Everybody thinks I'm a tough guy. I was raised in West Philadelphia. I enlisted in the United States Army, served honorably, then enlisted in the United States Marine Corps, and served honorably again. When I finished my service with the Marines, I returned to West Philly, but I quickly saw that there was nothing but trouble there. I then joined the United States Merchant Marines, where I have worked for the last 28 years. We move big ships around the country and world. My work is hard, but it is honest work. So maybe I am a tough guy. But not when it came to Bianca. She was my youngest child, my baby. She always could make me smile and make life a little brighter. Let me tell you about my little girl. Bianca was a child who was always happy, and she brought that joy to everyone around her. With adults, she was shy and respectful. With her friends, she was kind, gentle, and funny. To me, she was the smartest and most beautiful young woman in the world. When you are a father, You laugh at your sons, but you worry about your daughters. Who will be there to protect them when you are not around? Will they always be safe? What can you do to make sure that they don't get hurt? Nothing hurts a dad more than his daughter's tears. Bianca was hardworking and generous. She got a job at the McDonald's on Gay Street in Westchester. I would go there to eat just to see her working, proud that she had a job. She would whisper to me, "Dad, you have to go home." But I would just sit and watch her working, smiling at my little girl. Then, when she got her first paycheck, she insisted on taking me out to dinner, just to say thank you for being her father. I told her that I would pay, but she refused, her quiet way of telling me she loved me and that she was growing up. My wife and I decided to raise Bianca in Chester County because it was safe. We didn't want to risk the violence of West Philadelphia. We wanted her to grow up around nice people in a nice place. We wanted everything for Bianca. I wanted her to go to college, something I never got to do. She was going to Jacksonville University on a scholarship, ready to study crime scene forensics. I wanted her to graduate and get a good job, work in an office, and get paid good money without breaking her back working on the docks. I wanted her to fall in love, get married, and then have kids. She always told me that she was going to have 6 kids, 3 boys and 3 girls. I wanted to live long enough to spoil my grandchildren. All my dreams for Bianca were coming true, until the day the defendant murdered my daughter. My questions for the defendant are simple. Why in God's name did you shoot my daughter? Because she was young? Because she was black? Because she was a girl? Because you wanted to go first on the road? Because you had a bad day? How do you think your family would feel if someone had murdered you like you murdered my daughter? All I have left of Bianca is my memories. She had a special song that she said was her song just for me, Dancing with My Father by Luther Vandross. It is a song about a child whose father died and about how that child is praying for one more dance with her father. I always teased her that it was such a sad song and I planned on living forever anyway. Here is a little bit of the song. Back when I was a child, before life removed all the innocence, my father would lift me high and dance with my mother and me, and then spin me around till I fell asleep. Then up the stairs he would carry me, and I knew for sure I was loved. If I could get another chance, another walk, another dance with him, I'd play a song that would never ever end. How I'd love, love, love to dance with my father again. Your Honor, I would love to dance with my daughter again, but I never will.
Oh, man.
Respectfully, Rodney Roberson. So with that, we say...
That was tough. That was tough. I tear up when I hear that song.
Just in general.
I know. That was really tough.
And in that context, it's heartbreaking. So with that, we say rest in love and peace to Bianca Roberson. Prayers of strength and peace out to her friends and her family and everyone who loved her. And thank you so much for listening.